Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
We have more information on a shooting in Rapid Valley that left one person dead and another in critical condition. The Pennington County Sheriff's Office says early investigation points to an incident being a murder and attempted suicide. The homicide victim is 32-year-old Mercedes Dalvang of Phillip.
The suspect is 33-year-old Stephen Custer of Rapid City, who was in the hospital with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The two were in a relationship and were found in the front yard of a residence with gunshot wounds. Police in Aberdeen are investigating a deadly shooting in the central part of town. Officials say it happened just after noon Wednesday in the YMCA parking lot. Police arriving on scene found a man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to a local hospital where he died from his injuries.
Investigators say they detained a person in connection with the shooting. Aberdeen police say this appears to be an isolated incident and that it was not related to the YMCA. As a precaution, Vera St. Luke's Hospital was put on lockdown due to how close the shooting was. A crash slowed down traffic at a busy intersection in downtown Sioux Falls Wednesday morning. It happened just at before 11 at 14th and Phillips, just down the block from our studio. A KELOLAND employee was able to capture the crash on the dash cam in his personal car.
As the lights switched to green, you can see traffic start to enter the intersection, and moments later, a black SUV flies through what appears to be a red light, slamming into the side of a van. Our downtown live cam could see the aftermath as emergency crews started to arrive. As crews worked to investigate and clean up the debris, a majority of the intersection was blocked, reducing eastbound traffic to a single lane. At least one person was taken away in an ambulance.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munn. Sounds like a warm but windy day, Scott.
Oh, we'll have temperatures in the 50s and 60s, another day with above average numbers. Middle 60s today in southeastern KELOLAND. We'll have a high of 66 in Sioux Falls. Now, notice the temperatures are in the 50s, western, central, and northern KELOLAND. I think we'll hit those numbers early today, and then they'll probably fall as northwest winds come in. Rather healthy. We're talking some of those wind gusts so easily over 40 miles per hour. So temperatures will be cooler tomorrow, but the winds will not be as strong. And for this coming weekend, it looks like we'll have dry skies with above average temperatures, with a lot of us in the 50s for afternoon highs. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. The South Dakota State Board of Massage Therapy is considering a case against a Sioux Falls spa owner. She is accused of letting her boyfriend, who is not licensed in South Dakota, perform a massage. Hai Ling Zhang owns and operates the Go Spa Massage located in the Empire Mall.
The board has temporarily suspended her massage license and may take further action. But at this point, they want more time to go over the testimony and evidence presented at the hearing before making a decision. A 12-year-old Brandon, South Dakota boy has a great outlook on life despite dying of cancer.
Spencer Thorsland was diagnosed 3 years ago and has been fighting the good fight ever since. But his cancer has come back for a third time, and now he's leaving it in God's hands.
And then immediately I was kind of like, okay, I think it's time for me to rest. And then the next day, I think the doctors came in and then they told me that there was nothing they could do.
Spencer says he had heard of cancer before, but wasn't prepared for the journey that he's been on. He's now started in-home hospice care.
We've been asked to follow his journey so he can help others prepare for what it's like to fight cancer. Despite his grim prognosis, Spencer still has goals. He wants to skydive over California and visit Disneyland.
Well, the 20th anniversary of Winter Wonderland in Falls Park will include something new this year: fireworks.
The City Parks Department announced the kickoff to this year's season with a short barrage of fireworks. The opening takes place at 6 o'clock tomorrow night at Falls Park.
You know, we did it at the 10-year anniversary, and this being the 20th, that it's appropriate time to invest that bit more and to really embrace all the work that goes into putting on Winter Wonderland and something the community adores.
Last year, around 80,000 carloads of people drove through the park to look at the lights and displays.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
Well, turning cooler just in time for that. I would say in the forecast, we're getting into the time of year where cold fronts should be coming down a little stronger. And We'll see one today. Certainly starting off mild, though. We've had 50-degree weather to kick off this Thursday morning, and the winds, as that story is unpacked here throughout the day-part forecast. Stronger northwest wind hour by hour. We still have opportunities for 60-degree weather in the southeast. I do think, though, Aberdeen, Pierre, and Rapid, your highs are reduced just because of the timing of the front. And, of course, as we filter in that cooler air and that wind, it'll feel progressively more blustery as we round out the day. Maybe a sprinkle in the southeast. You can see a little hint of that on Futurecast. But then tomorrow morning, the winds are reduced. We have a clear sky. We have a really good recipe here for pretty chilly air tomorrow morning, and then seasonable tomorrow. More 40s, maybe a couple low 50s, western Ketherland. I do think, though, we can get right back up into the 50s on Saturday. Not bad, you know, look at the calendar, and if you're above 50 degrees at this time of year, that's still pretty good weather. And Sunday, too, might even end up at least in the 50s here. Here are the details today. 65 degrees Mitchell, 67 in Yankton. Keep watching next week. We have still a number of things going on. A system that will approach our region from the south on Monday. Could tease us with some showers. There's still room for that storm track to shift around a little bit, but it still looks warm enough that it'll be rain if it does happen. But Tuesday into Wednesday, a pretty interesting development here of colder weather. And we see this a lot of times, that cold will start to hint, and then the momentum on that starts to get stronger and stronger. So we've reduced our forecast into the 30s on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'll tell you, there's plenty of room for that to be cut even more as we approach Thanksgiving, or some timing issues, depending if we get maybe one or perhaps two fronts next week. One of those is likely to be more of a polar front, and even without, any major storm, we can get a lot colder. So just keep thinking about that next week. And then Pierre and Aberdeen kind of on the same trend here as we reduce the temperatures next week, with further reductions quite possible. Check out details. We have a good write-up about that with our Storm Center update this morning at KELOLAND.com.